Today I'm going to be sharing with you my end of year review of Fix It Grammar Level 1 The Nose Tree from IEW. This program is geared towards students in grades 3 through 5, but I would definitely say you can use this with slightly older than that students as well if you haven't really done a lot with grammar. So let's go ahead and just jump right into this. Hi everyone, welcome to our homeschool table. My name is Jerilyn. I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 10, 4, and 1. And here on my channel, I like to share all about homeschool mom life. So curriculum, reviews, planning, organization, and everything in between. So I hope that you'll click that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. I also will be making a playlist of all of the curriculum reviews for the curriculum we used this last year in 5th grade. And I do have some reviews of things that we used last year in 4th grade, which I will link down below for you. I've been sharing here on my channel since early in 2024, so I have lots of 4th and 5th grade information. And then I'm also working on some series of letting you know what we used in other grade levels and what I would recommend or not. So with all of that said, this was our 6th year homeschooling. I began homeschooling my daughter when she was in kindergarten in 2019, and then we just kept on going from there. And we actually got the Fix It Grammar program in 3rd grade, but for some reason I never picked it up. I'm not even really sure why. So once she finished a few things in 4th grade, we actually started this program at the very end of 4th grade. I would say she did about 10 weeks of this in 4th grade. Then we took a break over the summer from it completely. And then in the fall, we started up again at week 11. There are 30 weeks total. So she worked on the first 10 weeks in 4th grade and then the latter 20 weeks in 5th grade. And just a little spoiler alert, we really liked the program and we probably will use it again in the future, but it's not going to be one of the things that we start the year off with in 5th grade or in 6th grade, which I will explain in a little bit. Now, when you order this program, it's very, very reasonably priced. To get the teacher's manual and the student book, they look very similar, is only like $29. And you can get it from any of the homeschool sellers, Rainbow Resource Center, christianbook.com. You can order it straight from the IEW website. You can pick it up at homeschool bookstores if you have them. They are very well known and popular. So they're very easy to find. You might even find the teacher's manuals at used curriculum sales, and then all you would need to do is pick up a student book. But they're very affordable and a lot of people like them. And I will show you a little bit about why people really like them. Because we definitely did. There was one thing that I didn't really love, and I'll explain that as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around so that I can kind of show you what we liked and what we didn't, and then I'll be back at the end. So here are the 2 books. This is the teacher's manual, like it says up here at the top, and then this one is the student book. Let's look at the teacher's manual first, and I'll explain a little bit about what we really liked and one thing that we didn't really care for. So first, it shows you here at the beginning for the teacher the different parts of a lesson. So first, on the first day, you're going to learn the new concept. They're going to read the passage. You're going to mark the passage with the whatever it's telling you to mark, and then you're going to fix the mistakes, and then you're going to rewrite it. And then there are editing marks so that you know what everything means in the manual. I really appreciate that they have this scope and sequence because we referred to this a lot when we were doing a lesson and we needed to look up the definition of something. We could just come back here, look for what it was, and see which week that we needed to turn back to for the teaching part of it. So this is really helpful, and I would kind of keep like a little tab right here so that I could reference it easily, and my daughter did as well in her book. There are some grammar cards that you can get. We didn't have these, but after using the program, I think they would be really helpful. So I'm actually, if we go ahead and get the next level up kind of in the middle of 6th grade, we will probably go ahead and order the grammar cards. So here is where I marked in my book which of the weeks were review weeks. So as you can see here, in the first 15 weeks, there's only one review. And then in the second set of 15 weeks, there are mostly review and only a couple new lessons. And the only thing that I have to say negative about this program is that I really wish that they had taken the review and sprinkled it throughout the lessons instead of concentrating it at the end. Because at least for my daughter, she needs to be able to learn a new concept and then practice it and practice it again, which they do practice the things again in later lessons, but they are bombarded with brand new information every single week, and it's a lot to keep track of. So just my opinion that the review weeks would be great sprinkled throughout the program instead of at the end. So I really liked the way that they formatted the teacher lessons, and this lesson page is in the student book. So I will just show you in the student book here, it looks the same. So here, if you want to see side by side, here is the teacher book and here is the student book. So there are some little details on the side for the teacher, but it's pretty much exactly the same. And then when you get to the day one page, you can see the differences start here. So what I really like is that all of the answers are right here on the page for you as the teacher, but you also get all of the information on the top like they have in theirs. So you know what they're reading, that there's a vocabulary word they need to focus on, which is the bolded word. You know exactly how many of each part of speech that they need to look for. So for instance, on this page, they need to find 2 nouns, and then they have to fix some things like a capital and an ending mark. So there's always going to be things to mark. So like noun, noun, and then there's always going to be something to capitalize usually and some sort of an ending mark. Then in the student page, there's a section for them to rewrite it. And this is a change from the old level. The old level didn't have this part. They had to actually copy their corrected sentence into a notebook. But starting a couple of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago now, they made all of their student books to have this rewrite it section where they just write it directly in the book. So it makes it a consumable book, but at the same time, it's so nice to just be able to put it right here. You copy it straight from what you've just corrected. So I really liked the way that they had everything laid out. And then they showed you exactly over here how they should rewrite the passage to be correct. And it just keeps going like this throughout the program. So I'm just going to flip through a little bit of the teacher book, and then we can look more at the student book. But here again is a nice short lesson. You read through this with your student. I always liked to talk through the example, and then we would kind of go through this first page together, day 1. And then day 2, 3, and 4, she would often do on her own. And I would often have to work with her on correcting it because it was a challenging subject for her. She is not naturally somebody that understands grammar. Now, some of the lessons are longer, like this one in week 3 is a little bit longer of a lesson. But I would definitely recommend reading through the lessons together with your child and then doing a little bit of practice before you just send them off, at least for the younger grades. Now, then here is a review, which I really liked the review weeks because that meant I didn't have to teach anything new, but also it gave her some good practice to keep going with the things that she was going to be learning. So you can see that the sentences get a little bit more challenging as you go. There's a lot more to mark. And so I'll just flip to the back here so you can see that in week 21, you've gotten a lot more things to mark, more things to fix. And then by week 26, 27, 28, there's just a lot more to it. I really appreciated the explanations that they would give on each page as to why things were marked a certain way, because sometimes a word can actually be two different parts of speech depending on how it's being used. And so you get information about why it's being used the way it is. So I really liked that. At the end of the book, it has the full story right here if you would like to use that. My daughter didn't really care about reading through that or anything, and we didn't really use these pages at the very end of the book. You definitely can. I'm sure that it is helpful to using the program. And then there's a glossary at the end with all sorts of information for you as the teacher. So that is the teacher's manual. It's very helpful. I would definitely not want to do the program without a teacher's manual. Now let's go ahead and look in the student book a little bit more. And I went ahead on each day and put a little star once we went through everything. And you'll see as we go that it definitely starts getting harder. And I needed to make sure to really stay on top of grading, because I didn't really want her to be making mistakes over and over. I needed to make sure that I corrected them right away so that she wouldn't keep making the same mistakes. Well, I hope that it was helpful for you to see a little bit about why we really liked or didn't like some of the aspects of the Fix It Grammar program. I would say kind of overall, I would give this program a thumbs up, because I would definitely use it again, and I would recommend it to other people. One of the things that we did do partway through is that we added reading this little book called Grammarland by M.L. Nesbitt. This is a really old book. I think it was actually published originally in 1877. But this is a book about grammar, the parts of speech, and it personifies the parts of speech and goes through this whole like court case about the grammar. Anyway, it was a really cute book, and I think that this actually really helped her understanding of what the different parts of speech do in the sentence. So I would recommend maybe something like this, or maybe adding those grammar flashcards, so that you're constantly practicing what those words mean. Because we often did have to go back and revisit what certain terms meant and things like that. So all in all, I would definitely recommend this program to you if you are looking for something that is simple and you don't have to spend a ton of time on it. It doesn't have tons and tons of practice every day. It's just one sentence a day for 30 weeks, and it's about 4 days a week for the program. So I really liked it, and we will probably be bringing it in when my daughter finishes her Learning Language Arts through Literature, the purple book, which is technically geared at 5th grade, but we're going to be about halfway through it at the beginning of 6th grade. So she's just going to continue on with that, and then we'll probably bring in some sort of grammar. She really liked Fix It Grammar and asked to do the next level, so I will probably go with that. But definitely stick around here on my channel for updates and information about what curriculum that we're going to be using next year. I really like to add something new in about February, and so that'll be the perfect time to bring something like this level 2 in next year when we are finished up with Learning Language Arts through Literature. Like I said earlier, I'm going to leave some links down below for you to some of the playlists that I have here on my channel about the curriculum that we're going to be using for this coming school year in 2025-2026. My daughter will be in 6th grade for that one. And then I'll also leave a link to the playlist for curriculum updates from this last year in 2024-2025, along with a playlist about other reviews that I have done in the past for 4th grade and so on. So I hope that you will click that subscribe button down below, give this video a thumbs up, check out the playlists below, and stick around here at our homeschool table. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and we'll see you next time.